The mysterious and powerful survivors of an epidemic take center stage in Mary Lou's dystopian novel, The Young Elites. The author is with us this morning to tell us more about this book. Good morning, Mary Lou.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us in Daybreak.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is your first time in the Philippines, but
Yes.
let's start this interview with your fans not knowing that you actually married a Filipino.
I did, yeah.
See, more
I
reason
did.
for us to love you.
Thank you. We just got married this year.
Wow,
so,
okay, so
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's dive right into the books you have here. You amassed such a following with your Legend series. And now you're coming out with a new one. The Legend series was more dystopian, and this book is more fantasy. Am I right?
Right, yes.
Okay, let's give them a brief summary of what The Young Elites is all about.
Sure. Well, The Young Elites is set in a alternate fantasy version of Renaissance Italy.
Okay.
And it's about these young people who come out of the equivalent of the Black Death with certain superpowers. The whole book centers around a girl named Adelina, who is essentially a teen female version of Darth Vader. She is a villain, and the book chronicles her downfall to the dark side.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, because I just finished reading the book. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And Adelina is not your typical good girl hero, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
she's
not very
twisted.
nice.
And you actually, you said that she's like the Darth Vader or Magneto as a teenage girl.
Yes.
How hard was it for you to write about a character like this, considering you were such a good kid growing up, weren't you?
I was pretty good.
Okay.
It was a little bit unsettling at times to write about a character who had such dark thoughts. So I had to kind of draw on those moments where you're stuck in traffic and you just feel angry at people.
Right.
And I think everyone has those little moments of darkness in them. So that was what went into making her character.
Okay.
But there were definitely days where I just was like, I need to go eat some cookies.
I need a bad friend.
Yeah.
No, and Adelina was actually written as a side character, I heard.
Yes.
But then eventually you decided to make her the main character. Now, why did you decide to make that shift?
I made the shift because when I first wrote the book, it was told from the point of view of a very standard, very good-hearted person. And when I gave that to my agent read it and she got back to me and she's like, this is not working. I'm not feeling this character. And she was absolutely right. And she was the one who said, I kind of like this side character, Adelina, that you have here. Maybe she should be the main character.
Right.
And when she said that, I realized that the problem with the book was I didn't want to tell a hero story. I wanted to tell a villain story and how they go to, because no one's really born being a horrible person.
Right.
I wanted to explore that journey.
Right.
So that was when the book really clicked for me.
And is that why you also wanted the book to be a young adult book? Is because people like teenagers could relate to this more?
I think so. I mean, I've always written books that kind of fit into the young adult genre, and it's not really a conscious decision that I make, but it is true that Adelina's journey, I think, fits very well into the journey of becoming an adult and discovering who you are, finding out where you belong or don't belong, and how you react to that.
Okay, so we mentioned Adelina. You actually have Rafael as one of the characters. You have this handsome guy, Enzo. And for a while there, while reading the book, I thought there was going to be a love triangle going on, but that didn't pan out. But there is some romantic scenes between two of those characters. Now, are you comfortable writing romantic scenes?
No, I'm not at all.
It got steamy for a while there.
A little bit. I'm very slow at writing romance scenes, and I always imagine a tiny mother on my shoulder, and she's just
How do you know that?
Yeah, where did you learn that? That's what I'm picturing in my head. So I have some troubles with getting those scenes out and not being embarrassed to write them.
Okay. People might not also know that you're a very, very talented artist. I was looking at your sketches in Pinterest, super beautiful, and it actually made my reading the book so much easier because I had a vision in my mind of how the characters looked.
Oh, good.
Now, I'm just curious to ask, do you actually draw the characters before you give them personalities, or is it the other way around?
I do. I tend to draw my characters before I ever start writing the books. I find that if I don't do that, I have trouble figuring out who the characters are and I can't quite get the writing out. So it's very much part of my writing process that I have to draw my characters out.
And so far, you've drawn a face for every single character in all of your books?
Most of the main characters, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another one I wanted to ask about was that your book. Do all authors eventually want a book to become a movie? Do you see this going in that way?
I personally am very excited by the idea of the books potentially becoming movies. I don't think all authors prefer that. It's something that you have to let go of a little, and that can be very difficult because film and books are such different media and they require such a different touch, and sometimes it can be uncomfortable to see your story being handled
And things
and changed in ways that are necessary for making a great movie.
Right.
So it can be a little nerve-wracking, but yeah.
Reading the book, you can't help but want to have, like, when I was reading it, I wanted powers of my own.
Oh,
like, you can't help but want a power of your own reading The Young Elites. Now, while writing it, would you want a certain power? What power would you have wanted for yourself?
Powers for myself. I sound like such a nerd when I say this, but I would love the power to stop time so that I have the ability to do more things in a day.
Okay.
Just for productivity, and that just sounds so lame. But I feel like that would be a very useful power.
It would actually. Why didn't you write that for one of your characters?
Maybe I will, yeah.
Okay, the book ends with it, of course, like leading to another book. Have you written the book already, the second sequel to this, to The Young Elites, or are you still in the process of writing it?
I'm still in the process. I've just finished the first draft of it, so I've turned it into my editor, and I'm anxiously awaiting her notes.
And when do you think this is going to be released? Is it coming out soon?
We're not sure, but hopefully next fall, if all goes well.
And for the Legend series, you actually have a graphic novel coming out by next year.
Yeah, I do.
So it's your sketches and the book as well in one.
It won't be my sketches. I'm working with a very talented art director and artist who are putting it together, but they're doing a much better job of it than I could.
Nah, I doubt it.
Trust me, it'll be wonderful.
I like your drawings. Okay, why don't we invite our viewers? You have a book signing going on pretty soon.
There's actually 2 signings going on. The first is happening on November 22nd at 1 p.m. and that one is at the gallery in Ayala Center, Cebu.
Okay.
And the second one is on November 23rd at 2 p.m. and that's happening at National Bookstore at Glorieta 1.
All right. Well, I'm so excited to read the next book. Thank you so much for being here in the program.
Thank you for having me.
And again, if you guys want your book signed, of course, you can catch Marilee in all those places she mentioned, National Bookstore. She's the author of the dystopian book, The Young Elites. Again, thank you so much for being here in the program.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marilee.
It's a pleasure.